I I went to an amazing place tonight. It was called Hip Kitty, and it was a jazz club in one of my favorite districts in Claremont, called Hip Kitty. And this is comedy cabaret, but the night that we saw it tonight was a jazz night. And they have, when you walk into a place, they have all these little things that you can pick up, and that's one cool thing about going out to a place that you haven't experienced before. And my friend went on the internet and found this location, and I had actually been there before, but quite some time ago. But our server said it had been there for about 2 years, and oh, it was just a hip hop happening cool cat place. It was sort of a retro feel, very the modern day retro feel to it, with the exposed things on the ceiling, like big pipes and things, and everybody who was working there wearing black, and it was sort of in this little college district that just, a hip, fun, hop happening place. And they had a live jazz band, which was absolutely superb if you like that free-flowing kind of jazz. And I will try and definitely find the link so that if you're interested in that kind of jazz, that you can see a little bit of what I experienced tonight too. Really just fun, with a full-on bass and a trombone and a really beautiful woman drummer. And then they had one number where they had just a gorgeous woman singing jazz, just absolutely gorgeous. It kind of reminded me of those old-fashioned movies where they had, the woman in the beautiful gown singing at this place. And that she was dressed in a beautiful gown, and she just owned the stage, which was awesome. So that was one cool thing. This was one of the things that they had on the counter. And then what's cool about when you go to a place like this, and then they give you a lot of other types of activities that you can also do if you enjoy that type of thing. They showed a little calendar of what they do, and this is really clever marketing. So it's encouraging, it's inviting to come back, and it was the other part, which I absolutely do not want to neglect, is the food, which was totally succulently fabulous. It was fondue. And if you don't know what fondue is, I've only had fondue a couple of times prior to this. It's like a 5-course meal with things that you put on skewers, and then you dip them in these different sauces or broths. And not to be outdone by any other fondues, this had a complete full course, a 5-course thing with a beautiful, delicious salad with the multi-greens, and there were like 4 to choose from. We chose ones that had the little blue cheese crumbles and grapes and the greens and the balsamic vinaigrette, and that was delicious. Just regular salad, and followed by the cheese fondue, and they mixed that with this just this wholly delicious sauce, and served it with these little containers with gourmet breads that you could pop on these skewers and dip in this cheese, and green apples and broccoli and carrots. And oh my gosh, it was like, is that the bottom of the bowl already? Oh my gosh, it was so good. But then there's another course coming, and so when that one was done, they bring the other course, which is the meat course, and we ordered the filet mignon. And they had seafood to choose from, they had chicken, sausage to choose from, they had filet mignon, and that's what we chose. And all this little tray with 5, I think, different sauces, that once your meat came out of it was like a beef broth that you're cooking it in, and you stick them on these skewers, or you can just dump all of it in there. And they served that also with mushrooms and zucchini and broccoli, and they give a little wire mesh thing that you can sort of fish out the stuff if you want to put more things in at once. Because honestly, you could be there all night eating. It got to be after midnight. We're like, oh, midnight, oh my gosh, we got here at 7:30. But anyway, yeah, you have to allow for a long evening of dining and pontificating about, the world and all the things that, you view, and it just lends itself to great conversation. Of course, the band is loud, so, but even still, fabulous, you know, fabulous. The service was so good too. The service was just wonderful. I mean, they kept our drinks. They had water and a little Shirley Temple all night long, you know, because we didn't get the wine that would come with our thing. They just kept filling our you know, soft drinks or whatever. And after a couple of Shirley Temples, I just got water. So, but honestly, they kept filling that too. Wonderful service, and you just were very, very helpful and explained what fondue is and you know, what to do. So that was so delicious too. And the little sauces that came on the tray, there was one that was like a barbecue sauce, one was that a sort of a chipotle, one was I'm not sure if it was like a pesto and oil type of thing. That wasn't my favorite one. And the one that I absolutely couldn't stand and that my friend really liked was horseradish. The little bite to it is the one thing that I don't like, and that's the one thing that they liked. So anyway, so there was a horseradish sauce, and then there was also, there was one more, what was it? Oh, it was like a Thai peanut thing. And so, you know, take out the meat, and then you put a few of these different sauces and just get to try it. I love sauces. I love the little dippy, you know, the fancy little dippy things that you get. Then after that one, saving the best for last. Oh my gosh. If you were following any of my things on Facebook, I have had just this unbelievable craving for chocolate. I don't know what that's all about, if it's part of my hormonal thing or whatever, but I was just dying for chocolate. And I never was able to satisfy that. Tonight, oh my gosh, I had the chocolate fondue as the, you know, the most wonderful end to this amazing Epicurean delight. And it was sort of this ganache sauce, and they served it with also little bowls of Rice Krispie treats and marshmallows and cut up Snickers bars and strawberries and bananas and pineapple. And oh my gosh, my mouth is watering again just thinking about how wonderful it was. And I had a little bit right here. I go, what? I didn't have chocolate? What are you talking about? I didn't have chocolate ganache or whatever. And burnt my tongue on the, you know, because it was like, oh my gosh, is that the bottom of that bowl already? There must be a hole in the bottom of this bowl. Scraping the thing, and I burnt my tongue, but it was worth it. And, you know, our server came by again, and we talked about, you know, how fun that must be for her to get to just make people happy all night. And she said, yeah, I thought about being a nurse, and I thought I really couldn't stand to be around people who weren't, you know, that they were suffering or whatever. And she goes, this is so much fun. I go, yeah, you just have to, you know, check, you know, behind us and make sure our tails are wagging. Keep us happy all night. And she goes, yeah, we were laughing about that. But then after we, you know, enjoyed and just really this delectable experience, and just savored everything. There was no rush. I mean, it's open till 2 in the morning, but like, what was that? Almost 5 hours that we were dining. It's a very, very lengthy dining process. You know, we just sat and talked. And there was a real interesting crowd there, and it was just such a delight. And it was expensive. You can check out the menu. I'll leave a link to that or whatever. But, you know, what a great thing to, you know, for a date, for an idea, to do something different that you haven't done before, and kind of stretch your norm. If you go to the, you know, dinner and a movie or whatever, this was a really special kind of a dinner. And where the dinner itself lends itself to a great place to conversate, and also to you really just savor the evening as a place of communication and connection. So the other thing that was great was sort of the location. It was in this little college town. I think I mentioned that. And they had this, you walked past this other restaurant that had those big, I call them like a hookah, those big things at the Caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland. Who are you? You know, those big things where you're, you know, smoking or whatever. And my friend said that they were called bongs, but I don't know that. I've gone through my whole life without knowing that. But anyway, they had a whole thing where there were like really fancy ones out on this piano outside, and it was just a really kind of cool location. So I just wanted to share that experience with you. This place called Hip Kitty, it was a Hip Kitty experience. It was for cool cats, baby. So thanks for sharing this time with me. And oh my gosh, I just noticed that I got some chocolate on my white blouse. You know what, it was worth it. It was totally worth it. I would do it again. I'd get it all over my face. Blah, blah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm Diane, out and about, one woman's opinion.